Hello my beautiful friends, what is up? How are you? Welcome back to another video. If you guys have been here before, it's so nice to see you again. If you haven't been here before, hey, what's up? My name's Steph. Thanks for stopping by. So today's video, I don't have a plan. Surprise! I don't have a plan. So I've been thinking a lot lately about how when Abraham Hicks says, you are the only one that is responsible for your emotions. And going further into that, I look at it as like, there is nothing that you can make me feel. I feel everything based on how I am experiencing my reality, about how I am viewing things or taking things to heart or not taking things seriously. How I view things is really what contributes to my feelings. And so I was thinking about insecurity and feeling insecure, and when you have those moments of feeling super insecure, where do they come from? Why are they arising for you? And why are they so immobilizing sometimes? Because we are just so judgmental of ourselves. And I find for me personally, is like I have been dissecting every single one of my insecurities lately. And I've been like, why do I feel like that? Or why do I feel like that part of me is not enough? Or why do I feel like I need to change this part of me in order to feel like I'm enough? And I came back to the thought process of like, I am the only one who is responsible for this. So my insecurities are really just me not accepting parts of myself in their beauty and their truth, regardless of how I view them. That is exactly how I am supposed to be. And yes, I can make changes to my body, and I can make changes to my mind, and I can make changes to my health, and in turn, it will make changes to my life. However, I only feel the need to make those changes because of how I am perceiving my reality and how I am perceiving other people perceiving me. And I've talked about this before, in which I've said that every perception that someone has of you starts with you, right? It's like I am obviously thinking those things about myself and projecting them into my reality, and that's making me feel like all these other people are thinking that way of me, but it's really just me thinking that way of me. And I've talked about that before. And I was thinking, like, what if I just kind of embraced every single part of myself? In the good, in the bad, in the awkward, you know? Like, what if I just accepted everything exactly as it was for me? Because I am living this human experience exactly how I intended to when I came here. And even if I don't remember all the nitty-gritty details right now, I'm evolving into someone who will remember those details. And I have decided that this is what my human was going to be. This is what my life was going to be. This is what I was going to experience. And truly, it's like, why do I, at an ego level, have any sort of right to diminish that? To diminish the beauty of being a human in this experience, to diminish the fact that we are experiencing life at such an astronomical level in which we have everything at our fingertips, and we have the means to compare at our fingertips, and we have everything we could possibly need in order to either love ourselves fully or hate ourselves deeply. And it's so confusing to me that I am still so hateful to certain parts of myself when I've worked so hard in order to say that I love myself. Because I think that I was going through it in a way of when I first really jumped into this and COVID happened, and I was like, you know what, I want to feel better about myself. I want to feel happy. I want to feel secure. I want to feel confident in everything that I am. And so I started really working on loving myself. But I was loving myself with conditions. I wasn't accepting the fact that sometimes I'm really awkward, or sometimes I'm really uncoordinated, or sometimes I say the wrong thing, or sometimes I'm just downright human. One of my first podcast episodes was me breaking down these barriers in this thought process, in this belief system, that I needed to be perfect in order to receive love, and I needed to be limitless, and I needed to be fully healed and perfect, but like not perfect anymore. Like I didn't need to feel perfect anymore. But like even looking back on that now, like I've still spent most of my time since I uploaded that episode, knowing that there's no way for me to be perfect because I am perfectly imperfect as a human experiencing this life, and I came here to experience joy and lessons and fun, and I came here to be the best version of myself. But it's like, I was doing that with such conditions, and I was placing so much expectation on myself to not care anymore, to not care about being perfect, to not care about these beliefs I've been programmed with, to not care about how literally my entire life growing up, my only purpose was to be perfect because I was a sick child. I needed to get better. I needed to be healthy. There was a lot of expectation on me to do well and to succeed and to be that strong, independent, reliable being in which I was resilient to everything. And so growing up, I was ingrained with this belief of like, you need to be perfect, and you need to be perfect, and you need to be perfect, and you can't accept failure, and you can't accept this, and you can't accept that. And then going into like, I don't want to feel like I have to be perfect anymore, and I don't want to care about anything, and I just want to have fun, and I just want to relax. But like, I was still really diminishing those parts of myself. Like, even with my story with my health condition and all that stuff, like, I was still diminishing that is a really big part of who I am, and that is a really big piece of what makes me so unique and different and gives me the thought processes I do. But sometimes I still find myself shaming that part of me and shaming that part of my past, and that's coming from me and my insecurity about not being who I truly am. Insecurity is you not accepting the truest parts of who you are. Because yes, I'm awkward, I'm clumsy, I say the wrong things sometimes. There's lots of things in which I could look at that and be like, that's awful. I don't like that about myself. But at the same time, those things that trigger my insecurities and are things that I'm insecure about are the building blocks to who I am. And so if I'm ever going to move past those insecurities, I need to accept them all as they are right now. And I've been experiencing so much change lately that's been making me feel intrinsically more insecure because it's bringing up a lot of the things that I haven't thought about in a really long time. And like, with my level of self-awareness that I have now, which I talked about in my things I wish I knew before my spiritual awakening video, I was talking about an increased sense of self-awareness and how I can't perceive things of like, this is happening to me, but I have to look at things as like, this is happening for me. And I think that a lot of us say that, but when you have to dissect those parts of yourself that you've tore apart for so long, and I have come a long way in the sense of like, with my medical condition, I am so proud of myself, and I think I am so badass, and all of the incredible people that I've met and the stories I've shared with them and the connections I've made because of my condition, it's something that I'm proud of now. But it was something that I was so ashamed of for so long, until I stopped trying to suppress that side of myself, until I embraced the fact that, yeah, that is kind of who I am. Yes, I have the scars. Yes, I have this story. Yes, I have these experiences, but like, that's kind of what makes me so beautifully me. And so I've recently been working really hard to realize how incredible everything I've gone through is, and how I can sit here as a 22-year-old woman and be so proud of myself and how hard I've worked and how hard I work every day to maintain the life that I do. It's so interesting how we have allowed insecurity to become such an intricate part of our lives, because we all feel insecure. We all feel inadequate in some way. We all feel like we don't measure up. But like, what if we all just turned around and was like, yeah, no, like, I am really clumsy and awkward, but like, that's kind of what makes me me, and I think that's pretty cool. Once I stopped viewing my condition as something to be ashamed of or something to hide away from the rest of the world, that was when I truly started to meet people and experience people who were like, that is so awesome, and you are so strong, and you've been through so much. But if I wouldn't allow myself to like release that and just be like, no, this is what makes me me, and this is what makes me unique and beautiful and strong, and like it has built so much of my character. When I turned around and I looked at it like that, everything kind of started to shift in that perspective, because people started to ask me about my story, people started to resonate with my story, people started to view my story as a point of strength and not as a point of weakness. Because when I'm viewing my story and my triumph and my tribulations as something to be viewed as weakness, I'm projecting that into the rest of the world, and I'm saying, look at me, think I'm weak, think I'm not worthy, think I'm not valuable, think I'm not strong, when that couldn't be further from the truth, because the things I've gone through have made me strong, have made me hardworking, have made me driven, have made me determined, and have made me brave. So when you look at it as like your insecurities are just projections of what you don't accept about yourself, and then you start to integrate that and you're like, okay, well, where is the root of this insecurity? And where is it coming from? And why do I feel like this? And then when you keep asking it why, it takes the power out of it. And you get to the point where you're like, okay, I don't see why this is a really big deal. When you look at yourself and you're like, everything's good, life is good, I'm gonna be just fine, I am worthy, valuable, and complete with the whole story, not just bits and pieces of the story I'm proud of, not just bits and pieces of who I am as a person that I'm proud of. Like, it's the good, it's the bad, it's the ugly, and it's the fucking incredible, because you deserve to feel so good in every bit of who you are. And if you don't, there is something in you that's suppressing you and making you feel like you have things to be shameful of. The universe doesn't believe in shame. The universe doesn't see you as someone who did that thing and now you're an awful person. The universe sees you as an evolving, ever-growing being who's literally here to experience life and to experience hardship and get through it and to learn lessons and evolve to the highest level of consciousness that you can in this lifetime. And that's pretty fucking cool. That is kind of, I think, all I had to say. That was very rambly. With that being said, please be kind to yourself, because you are so lovely and you deserve it. And I love you guys so much. If you would like to subscribe and join our ever-growing little family here, I would love to have you. If this was my first and last time seeing you, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you have some peace from this. I hope you guys have the most amazing day, and I'll see you guys next week for a whole new video. Bye!